I was just watching this video, like the Kel video, his interview, and how he was saying basically he had an exorcism, and how the woman was telling him that somebody put a root on him. So I wanted to say this before I forgot, because I see that being said a lot, especially like in the esoteric community. They'll say like people put a root on you, somebody did XYZ, right? What I want people to understand, because they will be saying this about people, and people will have never actually went to, I don't know, light a candle or whatever it is you need to do, that some people believe you need to do. People can curse you with their words. Words are the most powerful thing when they are spoken with intention. And even like things like putting a root in, you know, putting people in jars and stuff, right? Those are like physical things you see yourself doing to give your words more power in the intention that you speak. So, when it comes to people putting roots on people, some people unknowingly are cursing people with their words, and some people are knowingly cursing people with their words. So, if someone is telling you and that someone put a root on you, and someone's like, nah, no, 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 be mindful of how they're speaking to you and how they're speaking of you, right? Because I just really need people to really understand how powerful your words are. They're the most powerful thing ever. It's the most powerful weapon you have, is your voice and the intention you put behind what you speak. So, and that's why I feel like that's why a lot of people, even growing up, like one with trauma, but generational curses, when you're being told like you ain't ever gonna be nothing, and you ain't nothing, things like that, those words have power behind them. And then we're like 10, 20 years later down the line, and you're living out the words people spoke over you. Because what happened? Because they spoke them over you, they cursed you. That's why it's called a generational curse, a stronghold, whatever it is you want to call it. What gives it a legal right is the words that are being spoken. Other than the words that are being spoken, of course, your actions and things like that. But really, a lot of the abuse a lot of people suffer from is psychological. It starts with words. It starts with people talking down to you, people talking down on you. Then it moves to, being physical, and things of that nature, right? So I just want people to really understand how powerful words are and how they can be used. Especially I want you to be mindful too. If someone is telling you they're spiritual and A through Z, and be mindful of how they speak, because even the most weakest person in the spirit can curse you with their words. So yeah. And then just even then, like, now this is how people can speak to you and speak over you. How you can combat that and how you can go against that is being powerful in the mind, right? How are you processing that, right? It takes time to learn these skills, especially if you've never had them, if no one around you has emotional intelligence, if no one around you can tell you to stop, think, breathe, you know, process whatever it is you need to do. It's hard. It's hard to get control of your mind, the way you think, the way you process, the way you start to feel, the way you start to behave, right? And then it essentially is the person you become. So I think that's what's like really hard, even like this day and age, with young people, or even people like my age and younger. I'm not gonna say how old I am, it's none of y'all business. um the lack of emotional intelligence. Or actually, I don't want to say my age and younger, I want to say my age and older, because there's so much more knowledge that younger people have when it comes to being emotionally intelligent, processing their feelings, seeking the help they need to be able to work through some stuff. So when it comes to people that are my age and older who have children who are unknowingly, unbeknownst to them, cursing their children because they themselves were cursed, and now we just got a whole cursed bloodline, but it's another story for another time, right? It's the lack of emotional intelligence that we have, or um that we pass along. So I just want people to be mindful of when you're being told like someone's putting a hex on you or a root on you. It's not always going to be that they tied some string together or whatever it is people do, right? Sometimes it's going to be how they're speaking to you intentionally. So just be mindful of that. Also, be mindful to, I don't know why I need to say this, but be mindful who you listen to. I hear a lot of stuff that just causes a lot of fear and a lot of paranoia in people. If you are watching or listening to something and it's instilling fear in you, stop. This is how a lot of people are going about creating some covenants they have no idea that they're doing, because they done heard something and someone's saying that they done put a root or hex on them or whatever, and then you feel like you need to go and get them back and go see somebody to return the favor or whatever the case may be. But now you just create a covenant, and then now you're stuck. But we won't get into that. That's a conversation for another day. So be mindful. If someone's telling you somebody did something to you and you do not know for sure that they are someone who practices things like that, just watch how they're speaking to you. Because a lot of people are involved in things that they have no knowledge of. And the words they speak are very powerful. I'm going to say it again. Words are very powerful. For those of you who believe in God, right? He created, it says he spoke the world into existence. Just FYI. So if that's your source, right? And if he spoke the world into existence, and he is in you, understand the type of power you have, or you're able to have. So be mindful of that. With that being said, speak with intention, positivity, love, forgiveness. And yeah. All right, that's all I got for y'all.